Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2023. Today's Market Monitor, we're going to be looking at the latest housing stats for Hudson County for 2022 wrapping up. So we're going to compare the entire year compared to the year previous, see where we ended up, and then take a look at December stats compared to December last year. Also want to give you some latest news around mortgage rates because the projections for 2023 and 2024 are very promising, very interesting indeed. So you're going to want to strategize around that. So we're going to talk about that as well. It's about the best time to jump into the market. If you like getting these housing stats, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I sincerely hope that you do so and enjoy what I go through every week on our market monitors. And if you want a full copy of the reports that I go through today or in any of my videos, please reach out to me any way that's convenient to you. You can find me on Instagram. You can follow me at Brisays, Brisays. You can email me at BM, my initials, Brian McCarthy, BM at storyresidential.com. Or you can find me on Facebook as Brian McCarthy Realtor. So without further ado, here is Q4 2022 wrapping up the year. So these stats here, I'm not going to go through all of them, but they do go by city. And I am happy to share these stats with you. If you're not already in my mailing list, this will go out here this weekend. Let me know. I'd be happy to hook you up. So want to take a look at Hoboken and Jersey City real quick. So where we're wrapping up here. So you got year-to-date 2021, so that's the full year because this is December stats compared to this year. So in terms of single-family houses, we are down across the board with number of transactions and number of sales. In the housing market, down 22% almost. In condos, down 23.4%, but that really didn't stop us in terms of average price, went up 30% for single-family houses, even though the number of contracts, the number of new listings went down. Same deal with townhouses. So number of sales down almost by a quarter, 23.4%. Number of contracts down almost 30%, and number of new listings down almost 25%. But take a look at these numbers. So days on market went down almost 22% from 37 at the end of last year or 2021 to 29 days on the market average for 2022. And the average sale price went from 818 to 896. Obviously, that depends a lot on what's out there, but what I found pretty much the last half of this year, especially even though mortgage rates went up quite a bit, making things much less affordable for a lot of people when it comes to borrowing, is that the things that are very nice, move-in ready, and generally at the higher end of the market are the things that sell quickest. Similar deal in Jersey City. So keep in mind, this does not divide any of the neighborhoods. So this is Jersey City as a whole, but single-family sales down by 4%. Days on market pretty much flat, but average sale price up 16% to $751,000. And in terms of condos, townhouses, co-ops, apartment style living, and sales here, number of sales down 10.5%, days on market down 25%, but the average sale price went up from 615,000 to 658,000. So again, the nicer things are still selling despite affordability being down overall in 2022 because of mortgage rates. Let's dive in a little bit here. We're taking a look at December and how this wrapped up compared to the year before. So this is Hoboken, December 2022. Decrease in sales by 65%, also decrease in days on market by 20%, and average and median sale prices both up. Not a lot of house sales, 7 to 8, but condos, 27, days on market, number of sales, 1 to 2. So not a whole lot trading there in December. Most of our housing stock, though, is apartment style living. So these condos and townhouses, days on market down 27 from 34. Percent of asking price received actually went down from 100% last year to 97. So a little bit of room overall on average for negotiating some price there. But average sale price going up from 834 last year to 929. So even further evidence that even in December here at the end of the year, when there's less things trading just because of seasonal adjustments, seasonal decline in housing activity overall, the things that are selling are the nicer things on the market. Number of sales down 65%. So last year in December, we wrapped up at 107 sales. This past December, only at 37. Contracts down 56%. and number of new listings down 81%. So only 10 new listings in December compared to 52 last year. Pretty crazy. So big evidence there that decrease in demand is outweighed by a decrease in supply. We have a very limited supply, even though demand is slightly lower. It's going to keep upward pressure on that, on sale prices. Then, we are breaking down a few of the Jersey City markets. Don't want to spend too much time here. Again, if you want this report, make sure you click subscribe and let me know you want a copy of this any way that you can, and I will send it to you happily. But houses in the Heights, 25 to 25. Average sale price, though, up from 725. I'm sorry, down, excuse me, to 725 from 847 last year. The condos that are selling flat from last year, 35 to 35. Average sale price, though, up. So housing or the house prices decreased, but condo sale prices increased. I would speculate that that's largely because a lot of the housing purchases up in that area are mostly or largely developers that are taking those houses down and building the newer condos that go for more money. But when money is tighter and lending is more expensive, there's less of those builders in the market because their margins are slimmer. So that sale price went down quite a bit there. But again, that's just December. But yeah, those condo sale prices went up 9% from 586,000 to $637,000 average. Number of sales pretty much flat, 27 to 26. Number of new contracts actually up 63%. Number of new listings up by almost double, 30 last year and 60 this year or in December. So pretty interesting there. A lot of new inventory in the Heights. Good time to jump on that now. I'll get into that here in a little bit when I talk about mortgage rates and mortgage projections. Journal Square, let's take a look at condos here real quick. Average days on market shot up quite a bit. Average sale price, though, not really suffering that much in Journal Square. Largely remained the same, actually went up 5% last December compared to the December before. Number of sales down by 50%, though, 23 to 12. But number of contracts and number of listings both down in December. Let's take a look at Greenville, which is a very speculative market. Again, when a lot of investors look in this area, when those prices go down or when lending goes up, the prices usually suffer a little bit. But hey, look at that. Houses actually went down a little bit, but condos went up 33%. Not a whole lot of sales, though. We're really comparing 5 sales to 7. So the ones that did sell here in December were largely more expensive and probably quite a bit nicer than the ones December last year. Let's take a look at downtown real quick before we shift gears. Houses, days on market for houses up quite a bit from 28 to 53, but that sale price here, and again, let's look at the number of sales, though. We're comparing 5 from last year to 2 this year. So this is really like those 2 houses that sold were for downtown, probably an average sale price there, but a lot more than the 5 that sold last year. But condos in downtown Jersey City, sale prices up 5%, 776 last year up to 811 here this past December. Number of sales, though, down 45% from 55 to 30. Number of new listings down 61%. Only 30 came out in December compared to 77 last year. All right. So one thing, if we shift gears here a little bit, I want to take a look at the Mortgage Bankers Association put out this data here recently, right before the holidays. Their projection for interest rates here, right in the middle. I want to look ahead here for 2023 and 2024 for the 30-year fixed. They're projecting that it's actually going to lower slowly over the quarters. Right now it's about 6.5. They're projecting that it's going to go down on an average of about 5.5 for the year. And then looking into 2024, decreasing even more down below 5%, averaging, high to mid 4% range. So, I mean, that's generally good news, but let's think about that in a bigger picture, right? So a lot of people found that mortgage rates this past year going up literally double from what they were this time last year. It was half of what it is now. We were at low 3s. Now we're in mid 6s. First time ever that mortgage rates have doubled in less than a year. Basically, it took about 6 months for mortgage rates to double. Obviously, that had a lot to do with bringing inflation under control. But what it did do is take a lot of buyers out of the market. So if you were still a buyer, you may have experienced this. You had a lot more opportunity than you did at the beginning of the year and over the past couple of years, where it was very, very common to have to be super ready when you're in the market. Get out there, you're making a bid on a house maybe the first day that it came out, and you can expect that you're competing with a few other buyers, or as many as like 10 or 15 other buyers. And a lot of people that didn't find something then got discouraged because it was just super hard. There was just way too much competition. And so as that cooled down, I know a lot of buyers, a lot of clients of mine actually found a place this past year when they stayed in the market, or actually entered the market after that, and took advantage of what higher mortgage rates did, which was basically slim down the competition and kind of even the playing field, where you could, find a place that was decently priced, maybe negotiate that price a little bit. And you realize that, you're finding a good house. You might be finding a better price for yourself. And yes, you might be signing on to a higher mortgage rate than what you would hope for. But as we see here, and as we're hoping, mortgage rates are probably going to shift, and you're not stuck into that. Even though if you sign a 30-year fixed rate, you can always refinance later on down the road. So the priority is finding the right house for you, and finding using the mortgage rate that's at hand, and then planning on, obviously you should be able to afford that, but the hope in mind here is that you find a place that you're going to live in for at least several years that you love. And then when mortgage rates go down, you refinance and actually end up saving some money and getting in while the competition is slim. So if you're one of those people that's been discouraged, or have been in the market for a while to find a new place, whether you're buying your first place or moving, and you might be thinking like, oh, great, I'm just going to wait for another year, a couple months for these mortgage rates to cool down. It's going to be a lot better for me. Think about that though, because as mortgage rates go down, if 100 other people in your marketplace are thinking the exact same thing as you, competition is going to go back up, and you might be in the same position you were a year ago, or that a lot of people were in a year ago, where you find a nice place and you lose out on your first 5 choices because other people are making better offers than you. So just think about that. And I've been having strategy sessions with buyers and really kind of diving into this and using a really cool calculator that I have, just looking at specific properties. I have it right here. We can load, where we just take a property and we look at different mortgage rates, and then just compare what we might be able to buy that for today with less competition, or compare that to future rates and what that might mean for you in the future if rates go down or rates go up, or competition comes back and you aren't able to negotiate that price. It can be more devastating than you think. So if you are curious about this, you want to dive into it and see exactly what it's like in your specific scenario, please contact me. I'd be happy to have one of these strategy sessions with you. It's really takes about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes if you really want to dive into it. And we can really look at the pluses and minuses of today's market and kind of project in the future. And really, it is just a strategy session to see what we can do for you and what can be in store here as far as getting into or staying in the market here in 2023. So please take advantage of that, and my resource to you. Happy to do that. One other thing I want to go over with you guys this week is a Compass friend of mine, Leonard Steinberg, has this great newsletter that he sends out pretty much every day. But he had this interesting article today that is averaging what housing economists think will do in 2023 and where they feel like pricing as far as housing pricing nationwide is going to go. So it basically ranges from a 5% increase all the way down to a 22% decrease. And so, at the top here, Realtor.com is forecasting overall a 5.4% appreciation on home prices over this next year. And it's going from the most all the way down to the bottom. And there's a lot here: Realtor.com, Homes.llc, CoreLogic, NAR, Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, Zillow, it goes on, all the way down to John Burns Real Estate Consulting is the least that say housing depreciation this year is going to go from 20 to 22%. Very interesting, huge spread in numbers here. And what he did, which I think is pretty clever, is if you average all these opinions, we can deduce a 12% decline in pricing potentially. But let's take that into context. Let's say you got a $400,000 home in 2019. You saw home prices go up 25% between 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, which is what a lot of houses did. You were basically at $500,000 appreciation or current market value at the end of 2022 for your $400,000 home. If we can take this 12% decline and apply that to $500,000, you're still coming out on top at $440,000 at the end of a 5-year ownership of that house. So from 2019 to 2024, if we take the average of all these, apply 12% decline, you're still ahead of the game at $440,000. Your home price has appreciated from $400,000 to $440,000, which, not so coincidentally, is a 2% annual price increase over 5 years, which is exactly the 2% inflation rate that the Fed is aiming for. Thought that was pretty interesting. I hope you enjoyed that as well. Anyway, so that was this week's Market Monitor. It was pretty quick, but yes, please, I hope you subscribe to my channel. I do these as often as I can, hopefully every week, with news from hyperlocal to nationwide, things that are pertinent to our market. And to stay on top of your game, keeps me on top of my game. Subscribe so you get all these videos that I post so you can stay on top of it. And as always happy to share all this stuff with you in person or via email. I have newsletters that I send out to all of my database here on these stats. So if you want to be a part of that, hit me up with your email wherever you can find me. On Instagram, you can follow me at Brisays, Brisays, Facebook at BrianMcCarthyRealtor.com, or my email, bm@storyresidential.com. Hope you guys are having an awesome week. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next time on the Market Monitor. Take care.